Hi, this is Rakesh Shukla, and you're watching me on Stronger with Rakesh Shukla. So, why do I talk about being stronger, and how do I make you stronger? I'll give you a very quick brief about where I come from. I suffered 2 heart attacks early in my life before I was 30 years of age. I have broken my back, both my kidneys are failing, I have brain disease. I can also lift 100 kgs. I can run 2 miles flat out. I'm super strong physically. I'm also the strongest person I know mentally. So there's a whole lot of techniques that I've learned, that I've built. There's a lot of experience I've put around to keeping myself in that shape mentally and physically. I want to talk about stress and depression today. Yesterday there was a message on the Facebook page that the COVID situation and all the information that is coming from everywhere, the television channels, the newspapers, it's very depressing. And at least one reader said that that she's really feeling depressed about it. The fact is that stress is a very big reason for depression. It's not the only reason for depression, but stress is a big factor for depression. Loss of love, loss of people you love. There can be other medical causes, trauma, injury. There can be many reasons, but stress is the number one reason. In the link below, you will find a writing that I have on stress and how to handle stress and strategies to handle stress. I suggest that you have a look at that. It will give you a very good view of where you are as far as your stress is concerned. But stress and depression, while they're related, they're not the same thing. Stress causes depression, and depression can cause stress, so they're causal. But depression is a state when you feel low and that mood does not seem to lift even after a while. So it's been, you had some bad news, something happened 2-3 days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks, you will feel bad and then you will get out of it. I mean, there's a lot of data which shows that even people who have been married 30, 40, 50 years and one of them has lost a spouse, and yet after 2 weeks they start getting over it. And the problem occurs when you don't get over it, right? And that is when you're said to be depressed. Mind you, the mind is a self-healing organ. For the most part, it balances itself. So when it feels bad or something happens, it kind of fixes itself after a while. But when the system is broken, then you need help. And in our country, in our society, depression or any mental disease is the word mental disease or brain disease is like it's like, oh my God, I mean, he or she is insane. And I started by telling you that I actually have a brain condition, but more importantly, I've been in that place where I've been clinically depressed. 5 years back, I lost my company, which I'd made from scratch. So I went from 1 employee to 3 offices in Bangalore, 250 employees, Intel, Microsoft, Boeing, Airbus, all our TWB customers, and then I lose everything. And for the next 3 years, I'm alone. I have no money. I only have debt. I really understood what is to be totally alone and in a corner. And after 1 year of really fighting hard, I found that there was really no place I was going. And that stress perhaps became too much for me to handle. And I went to my only friend that time and said, listen, do you think that I'm depressed? And she said, yes, you are. And it was like a wake-up call because there was no reason for her to lie. And I trusted her judgment. So I went to a professional. I found somebody who was maybe the top doctor in the city of Bangalore, and I went to him and said, listen, I need you to evaluate me. And he said, yes, you are clinically depressed. And he said that you need to see a counselor, and then we will take a call about medication. So when that happened, I think now when I look back at it, I had 4 major breakthroughs which I want to share with you. The first is that I acknowledged that I had a problem. Most people want to just keep it away. So when I went to that psychiatrist and when I went to that counselor, they're 2 different people, both of them had the same thing to say, which is that we've never actually had somebody walk in saying that I am the customer, I am the patient, because people need to be motivated to come there for months sometimes years. So I knew that I needed help, and I found that help. The second is that I found professional help because I wanted to find what was the cause of what was causing me to be in that place. And that's kind of interesting because I knew that my problem at one level was money. I was alone because I didn't have any money. I was alone because I lost my company. And these guys are not bankers. They're doctors. But I also knew that just having money is not going to solve my problem. There's something that is causing it. And it took me some time to figure it out with their help. And what we do is we want to talk to our friends. Your friends have got a little more brains than you have, maybe even a little less, okay? So they're not qualified in any which way to give you any suggestion about life, all right? And neither are your parents, okay? These are people who are just, like I said, they are in your same mind space. So thinking that, they are going to come back with some great idea of, how to run your life better, it's a pretty bullshit idea, man. If you need to talk to someone, talk to a professional, which is what I did. And they helped me get down to what was really bugging me. And once I found what was really bugging me, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulder. And that was the start of my pullback, of my journey back. From there to today, when I can, like I said, I'm physically that fit, I'm financially that fit. It started that one day when I figured what was really wrong with me, and that really wrong with me was suggestion that came from a professional. The third thing is I was open to medication, and after a few weeks of talking to both of them, I said, listen, is there some medicine that we can take to get there faster? Because you can talk up all you want about when I was 5 years old and what was happening in my life, and 10 years old what was happening in my life, but really I have a problem right now. The problem is I can't even sleep because there is so much body ache, man. And there are, in the same article that I've linked here, you can see a lot of the symptoms that I suffered. But I chose to be on medication, and I continued to be on that medication. But in 2 days, 3 days, the change was remarkable. In 6 months, I was like a totally different person. And I kept going back every week to these guys and kept telling them what I was feeling. And after a week, after 6 months, they started telling me that, listen, you don't need to be on this anymore. You're good, man. You're normal. So knowing that I was open to medication, and then something happened a few days back. A fantastic actor, and he took his life, and I've been there. I've actually sat in my balcony planning to jump. I have 800 dogs, 900 dogs today or whatever. I mean, at that time there were 600 dogs. I had just no money to feed myself or to feed them. I actually planned to the point that I figured that I will have to first let them go before I took my own life. All right, so I understand being in that place where that looks like the only option, but it's not the only option. Your only option, my friend, is you. No matter what corner you are in, you can fight out of it, man. You always can. The fourth thing I did was a self-check, which I still do. If I feel not so okay, for whatever reason, if it is more than a day, 2 days, it's just like my heart. I mean, if there is an ache which is too much or too different, if my hypertension is too much, if I'm urinating too much because of my kidneys, I know there's something wrong. It's exactly the same. If my mood is changed and if it does not lift in 2 days' time, I'm aware of it. So you need to kind of keep aware of yourself, because ultimately the only person who's responsible for your health, mental and physical, is you. Your doctors are there only when you go there. If you ask for help, they will give it to you, and ultimately they cannot cure you, man. They can never cure you. My best doctor for my heart has been me. My best doctor for my kidneys has been me. My best doctor for my mental health has been me. Because I'm responsible for it. But it all starts from first acknowledging and then looking for professional help. So if you're feeling too stressed about corona or whatever, and the uncertainty that will come after that or with it, it's a part of life. It's a part of life. And it keeps going on, my friend. Nothing's going to stop. So The important part is not that you will have complete certainty about what you're looking today in 6 months time, where your life is going to be, or happy or unhappy or whatever. It's not important. As long as you're willing to live with that uncertainty, it's all okay, my friend. Keep going forward. I have big plans. I mean, 2 years back I used to just want to survive the day. Today I'm thinking, how do I make the next 100 crores? Life changes. You need to keep fighting. And I will teach you how to be stronger with Rakesh Shukla. Thanks for your time. And if there is anything else that you want to hear from me, do send me a message. You can mail on the website rakeshshukla.com. You can fill up a form there. You can send an Instagram message. You can send a message on YouTube. You can send a comment on YouTube. You can send a message on Facebook. You can reach me any which way you want, and we will talk about what you want to talk about, physical and mental strength. We will talk about that. All right. Have a good one.